Hello, welcome to the Forge Your Trail podcast. I'm Frank Rodriguez, your host. Today we have a couple of guests from Work Ready, Oklahoma. We have Kristina Jones and Dr. Carlos Robinson. Would each of you just maybe give a brief introduction of yourself and tell us what you do for Work Ready?
Absolutely. So my name again is Dr. Carlos Robinson. I'm the Senior Manager of Outreach and Recruitment with Work Ready, Oklahoma. So I oversee the team to go out and I don't like to say recruit, but encourage participants to join our program. And just they start with us and we get them on through the workshop and hopefully to the end and all of the things that comes after that.
I'm Kristina Jones. I am it's a long title, distance learning facilitator and content coach specialist. So what I do is we kind of have a hybrid model at Work Ready. So I facilitate on air via distance learning live stream to 21 sites across the state. We teach content, and then in the classrooms where the participants are, they have facilitators there as well, and they are doing activities that go alongside the content that we're providing. And then when I'm not on air, then I'm helping with curriculum or any other project that's coming our way.
It's been my experience that the longer your title is, the more important you are in the organization.
Exactly.
I'll take it.
That's why
I would
she's
love
sitting
that.
in the middle right there.
Well, let's get started, guys. So, how does Oklahoma Work Ready help individuals who are struggling to meet their basic needs while also trying to support a family?
Such a great question. So Work Ready Oklahoma is designed to provide wraparound workforce development support for Oklahomans facing economic challenges. And so for our participants juggling family responsibilities and financial hardships, WRO, we offer those personalized case management and assessments to job placement and direct access to resources like transportation, childcare support, interview preparation. So our program uses different things such as like motivational interviewing and one-on-one assessments to connect each of our participants to the tools they need for stability in their lives, as well as preparing for the long-term employment career that we want them to have.
You know, I don't think I would add anything to that. I think you said that perfectly. Like, we just really like to see where a person is, where they want to be, and help them get there. And there's a lot of things that come into play whenever you're talking about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. In what ways does job stability influence a person's ability to both be present and balanced at home, especially as a parent or a caregiver?
Absolutely. Well, job stability offers consistency, structure, and dignity, and those are all essential for maintaining a supportive and emotionally stable home environment. So for parents, having to rely on an income source helps reduce, or having an income source helps reduce stress, creates routine, and fosters healthy relationships with their children. So WRO, we recognize that by equipping our participants with not only just job leads, but we also want to have sustainable employment pathways that align to their personal, family goals. And so, again, those wraparound services catering to the needs, the person-first type of approach with Work Ready Oklahoma.
So I think it's Confucius. He once said, choose a job you're going to love and you'll never work a day in your life. And we find that to be very true. Although any job you go into, you're going to have challenges, even if you love the job, right? Especially parents and caregivers, really. When a person has job stability, they are not constantly weighed down by that stress of how am I going to pay my next bill? They're just scrambling to make ends meet. That sense of security creates space to be emotionally present with your loved ones. So when you're at home, you're actually at home and you can enjoy your leisure time and just show up as a better parent. You're more attentive, you're calmer, and you're just not consumed by that stress. So what's even more powerful is when a child sees a parent happy, right? They're going to be more happy.
Absolutely.
But also, you're changing the way a child looks at a job for their future. It's not just a chore now. It's something that you can find fulfillment in. You can find motivation in. If my parent loves their job, oh my gosh, their job is fun, right? I want to have a fun job when I'm older. And that's really how you're going to see these generational changes happening. Stability doesn't just keep the lights on. It's really like reshaping the way that we look at life and how well-being can coexist with work-life balance.
Absolutely.
And we know that stability is so important for the healthy development of children and families, right?
True.
Can you walk us through how the program assesses where someone is in their life and in their career journey? And how do you help them define where it is that they want to go?
So we're super excited about the dynamics of our participant pool. It's just like a salad of a bunch of goodness. So these folks come in from different ages, backgrounds, cultures, ethnicities, and so there's just big salad of goodness. And so our engagement starts with, comprehensive intake process where we listen closely to our participants' stories. We identify the strengths. We look at the barriers, and then also we look at the immediate needs. What can we do to help those immediate needs? So we use tools such as career interests, inventories, and life goal assessments. And so from there, we co-create an action plan that aligns to the participants' current realities, also with their career aspirations. So WRO, we provide that support from resume building all the way to training enrollment, all the way through job retention, because we want them to find, get, and keep a better job.
Find, get, and keep a better job.
Yep, that's our slogan.
Honestly, it's not even just finding a job or a paycheck. We want them to truly find work that's meaningful to them, that aligns with their life values, their career values, and what they have going on at home, because everyone has different needs. So when someone comes into the program, we do start by meeting them exactly where they are. We take the time to understand what's going on at home, maybe personally, professionally, even emotionally sometimes. If they need resources, we're making sure they have those before they leave us. And then we ask, what are your goals? What are your challenges? What does success look like for you? Because that's going to be different for everybody that you talk to. So for example, say someone's a vegan, they're not going to love working at like a meat processing plant. That's just an ick for them. They're not going to love that. So what matters to you? We dig deep. Like he said, we do a whole bunch of career assessments and inventories. They learn about their personality and how their personality works with other personalities, and just communication skills and stuff like that. So whenever you know what motivates you, you kind of have this compass of clarity of which direction you should go. So that's kind of where we start. Learning a little bit more about ourselves, and then finding what we need to meet those needs that we have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do you see employment and economic stability affecting the emotional and mental well-being of families in the long term?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So economic stability reduces the day-to-day stress of making ends meet, which in turn enhance a parent's ability to be emotionally present and responsive to their family's needs. So stable employment not only improves the quality of life, but it also restores self-worth and intergenerational hope. So children of employed parents often experience more security, better school outcomes, and a stronger emotional health. And so I remember when my mom, she struggled trying to make ends meet. And I remember when she was stressed, we were stressed because we felt that pressure that she had on her shoulders. And so as I grew up, I can't wait to remove that level of stress from my mom by some means. And so that's why it's always an honor and a privilege to be in a position to serve at an organization that looks to pour back into the community. And that's what I'm doing here. So I can see my mom and a lot of these folks, my community and a lot of these folks that we serve. And once they leave our program, they definitely feel more emotionally sound and less stressed about the process of finding employment.
So many of our guys do come into our program and they are in, extreme stress, looking for jobs, feeling the pressure of being a parent. What kind of support systems and services are in place to help participants not just find a job, but to keep it and to grow within it?
Absolutely. So WRO, we emphasize retention just as much as placement. Participants have ongoing access to job coaching, professional development, resources, and mental wellness support. And so that network and that community-based services that we wrap around our participants definitely take them to the long haul. We also follow up post-placement. So they get a job, we're following up not only to help troubleshoot any issues that may come about, but more importantly to celebrate their progress in that employment. And so that growth within that job is encouraged through just different referrals and upskilling programs and vocational certifications that really get them that gainful point, the employment that they need to be self-sufficient. So again, wraparound services. We might have to throw that in a part of our motto. We provide that wraparound service for the holistic person.
That's absolutely right. On day one, our participants, like I think I mentioned, they were paired with a coach. So they're paired with an individual coach who's going to walk through them throughout the whole workshop. So that coach is with that participant. Each coach gets to know their participant on a one-on-one basis. So you're really finding out what their specific needs are. And that's going to look different for each person. Maybe you need training. Maybe you need a stabilizing job. Maybe you want to move straight into a career. Maybe you want to do both, all of the above. It really doesn't matter. We're there to help find where you are and get you to where you want to be. So they come up with a strategic plan based off of all of the assessments and the career values that we've went through and what motivates them. We all kind of work to find good employment that matches their values and even training. So after the participants gain employment, coaches call back for months after, and we're checking in. We want to hear what's going well, what's not. Do we need to reevaluate and move in a different direction? Anything really that they need. So, and I think that is my favorite part is from when I was coaching. Our participants feel like if they need us for anything, they can call. So sometimes that's just advice. Sometimes they just need to vent. Sometimes that's setting a new goal, coming up with something new to focus on. Maybe they just need to practice for an upcoming interview or something like that. We're there for them, and they know that. So every coach really puts their heart and soul into serving these participants on the daily. And by the end of it, I think that's what makes a difference. It really does feel like a cohesive family unit.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you share a story of someone whose life and family was transformed through the support of Work Ready Oklahoma?
Absolutely. We probably could share many stories.
many.
There's so many success stories that came through Work Ready Oklahoma. But one that sticks out to me was a single father of two. He came to Work Ready Oklahoma struggling to maintain steady employment due to the lack of child care and transportation. But through our program, we helped him secure consistent child care, working with OKDHS to wrap around those services as necessary. We've referred him to a CDL training program. He went through that CDL training program and completed it, got his CDLs, and then we eventually supported him for his placement in a full-time logistics position. And 1 year later, he's financially independent. He's also now a mentor to other young fathers, and he just called me not too long ago, and he told me a story. He said, "Hey, Dr. Robinson, I just wanted to call you and tell you that I just closed on a house." And so he got really emotional. You can hear the tremble in the back of his voice, like, I just closed on a house. And it was something that you could tell that he probably never thought would happen based off of his previous dynamics, but now going in and having that logistics positions, that CDL was life changer for him. And he said, I just had to call somebody and thank them. And then you were the first person. I just want to tell that story too. And I wanted to thank you for Work Ready and all that y'all have done to help me get to this place. And so I know his children are more than likely happy and satisfied and living in a stable environment. So that's just one story, but I know Kristina probably has a story, and we can go on and on about stories.
As I'm not trying to like tear up
No,
because
right.
you're already like touching my soul. I am a blue personality, and that means I cry about everything. So if I tear up, I am sorry. I have a story that'll probably stick with me until I pass away. So we had this young woman come in, very young, and she was from a small town, and she was fleeing a domestic situation. She had a young son, and so she wanted to move out of a small town because she knew there wasn't many opportunities for her there. So she moved to Oklahoma City, not knowing anyone here, never having even been to the city, she said, not even once. So she moved into a domestic violence shelter. She was there with her son. She came to us, and well, before she came to us, she had only had like 2 or 3 jobs, and they were in fast food. She lasted for like a few weeks to a month. She didn't love it. We all understand why, right? So she came to our workshop head down. just not much confidence. She was skeptical on whether our program could actually help her. And we see that a lot at first, and by day 3, that's always changed. But so she was skeptical. By the end of the first week, you could see a visible change in her demeanor, in her posture. Her confidence started growing. Her head was held high. She found a stabilizing job. So we talk about the difference between a stabilizing job and a career. And a stabilizing job is something you might take right now to pay the bills while you're working on training or until you get into the career you want. So she took a stabilizing job because her goal was to get out of the shelter and do better for her and her son, right? So she took the stabilizer while she was enrolled in training, and she wanted to become a pharmacy tech, so we helped her do that. The best part of this story is watching from an outside point of view, and I'm sorry if I tear up,
No,
life
it's
just
fine.
kept throwing her so many hurdles and so many obstacles. Her car broke down. She was still at the shelter at this point. Her grandmother, who had raised her, passed away unexpectedly out of the blue. She had no way to even get back down for the funeral. It was crazy. There were so many obstacles in her way while she was going through this training. So it just felt like everything was stacked against her. Instead of giving up, which a lot of people would in that scenario, she didn't. She stayed focused on the goals that we had set. She remembered her why, and we talk a lot about our why in our curriculum. And it's that thing that in the morning when you don't want to wake up and you just want to hit that snooze button like, no, not today. Yeah. You're like, no, I'm doing this for this reason. Mm-hmm. And so for her, that was getting out of the shelter and providing a better life for her son in a safe environment. So she actually, I'm so proud of her. She completed training in record time. Nobody's completed it since or before in a faster amount of time with flying colors. So she landed the job she wanted, which was to be a pharmacy tech. She came back to me after that. After she got out of the shelter, she had sent me a few pictures of her and her son, just some updates and stuff, because as a coach at the time, I mean, you get close to your participants and, you know, they're giving you those updates that just like melt your heart, and you might get something on a random Saturday night and you're like, oh my gosh, my day is made, and it's crazy, it's a weekend, but you're always working if you care about people, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
She came, she did everything she wanted to accomplish, and then she's like, Kristina, I want to set a new goal. She wanted to get her EMT certification, so she started working on that. And honestly, that drive, that resilience, that's what we see every day of every workshop. There is someone there is so many people there across the 21 sites fighting for what they want. Yeah. And, you know, at Work Ready, we just like to see where a person is, where they want to be, and help get them there. So I could go on and on with stories, and I'm quite a rambler. But I will remember her grit, because honestly, I've been through a lot of tough things in my life, but I probably would have given up if my family caregiver had passed away who took care of me. Yeah. I was already in a place of struggle living in a shelter. It's hard being a mom, period, a single mom or dad, period, especially when your kid is young and you're trying to learn something new and create something better. So I will forever be proud of her.
Yeah, you got me emotional over here.
Well, I like the fact that the emotion comes through. That really indicates the caring and the love that you're putting into this, basically.
We all love our participants.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody in our work that doesn't.
And as coaches, we understand what it means to be, you're not really on call, but you're there for your participant when they need you.
Absolutely.
Right?
You just never know, and time of day doesn't change when things happen. So, absolutely.
So I'm going to freeball a question.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Would you say that everybody who comes through Work Ready Oklahoma is in some kind of a life crisis, or are there regular people that just can come through and walk in off the street?
It could be anything. Again, that big salad bowl of goodness, of possibility, of things that could just come together and help for the better. Now, the downside about it, most people are seeking, they're unemployed, so they're seeking employment, but it may be their first, week off or laid off or months down the line. So it's really different dynamics as they come in, and so it could be a different scenario. Some may have a security deposit or something like that, or security funds to maintain, but some are just, I'm living on the street. I heard about your program, and now I'm coming in the door seeking help.
Right.
So different walks of life.
Actually, I like that it's different walks of life. You have different education in the classroom. You have different ages. We've had anywhere from like 18-year-olds to 74, 75
Oh, yeah.
that will come
74.
through.
78 was the highest.
Right? And so
Really?
people will come through just not knowing how to navigate today's workspace. Like, how do I interview? What does a proper resume look like? Like, what should I be wearing for these job interviews? Like, so much has changed since, I've been in the working field. We have moms who've been out of work for 18 years taking care of their kids, and they're like, I've done nothing. And we're like, that's not true. You've done everything. Those are transferable skills. So how do you reframe the things that you have done? Or maybe you just want a new career field. So you have all these skills, but you don't really think they apply to this new field. Well, we can teach you what a transferable skill is and how to make that look good to these employers that you do seek out. So really it is, like he said, like a mixed salad bowl of everybody. So we have ages, education, whether you're going through something traumatic or not, everybody is welcome. And everybody's helped in some way. So that's actually why I like that, because that peer support, they learn from each other too. So it is a beautiful thing.
Have you ever experienced or witnessed the moment when your participants like saw the light come on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's every Wednesday of week 1. So they come through orientation with Carlos and the recruitment team and some coaches in there. And they're kind of like, yeah, we'll see what this program can do. Like, we got some ups, some benefits, cool. And then the first day, it's just like so much information. They're learning about themselves, and they're just like a little overwhelmed. Like, okay, I'm still filling this out. Tuesday, they're starting to talk to the people at their tables, because we teach content via distance learning online, right? Mm-hmm. And they're seeing this live, so we can actually interact with them through the TV and their classrooms. And then they're doing activities at their tables with their peers and stuff, and they're practicing these skills, these new job skills, or just communication skills in general. And so you just you see it by Wednesday, they feel more comfortable. And by Friday, they all have confidence. And we ask, like, give me a win for the day or a win of the week. Like, what's happening? It doesn't have to be you got a job. Maybe it's just I got my laundry done and I wasn't trying to do that, or anything. And on Friday, we always hear how much are interviewing. We do a lot of modules on, like, role playing for interviews. So we ask interview questions and they ask each other interview questions. They always say confidence. Like, I didn't think I would walk out of here with more confidence. I just thought I would learn some job skills. But it's so much more than job skills. It really is. Every day we have those soft skills embedded in there. So communication styles and personality styles, and how to set your expectations, and how to seek clarity with speaker-listener technique if you're unsure of what's really being asked of you. And so they learn so much more than just like how to find a job. And you do see that every week by Wednesday, and then by Friday you see another little jump there.
Yeah, and so I'll back all the way up to when we meet them. Mm-hmm. So my team, outreach and recruitment, we go out and we have to sell the thing. Mm-hmm. And again, it kind of sells itself if you say it in the right manner. But it's always hesitation. It's always, can I trust you? Are you just that typical workforce program that's just kind of, got your resume, go, here's a job, or placing you somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's, that apprehension. But we break that ice eventually. And once they come through the program, they come back full circle and say, mind-blowing. I'm so excited that I've been in this program. Everything that you all have done for us is really just taking us to the next level. My mom even went through the program. She retired and kind of just set out for about 3 years. And
She's actually my participant.
Yeah, she was excited about all of them. She loved Kristina. She loved Erwin, all of the folks. She just named so many people. It was like, I love these folks. But she made friends. She connected with folks. We make sure they sit at different tables every single day, so they don't get too little cliquish, if you will.
Yeah. You learn from the people around you.
Yeah, all of that, and so they learn different dynamics. They run into just different scenarios. Somebody may be going through what they went through, and they just share these ideas. But my mom, she even partnered with the lady, and she just wanted to make sure the lady was taken care of. She seen her one time riding the bus, and she was walking in the rain, and my mom almost had a wreck, unfortunately, but she turned around and she said, I want to help her. And she ended up getting in the car, and every day they were friends from that point forward. But not only was she providing an opportunity for a participant to get there, because she wouldn't start picking up from home. That's just how close they got. Mm-hmm. But it held my mom accountable to stay to the program as well. She completed the program. My mom, 2 weeks of the program. Mm-hmm. That Monday, she got an interview. That Monday morning, they called her that Monday afternoon and said, we want to offer you the position. She counterbalanced. And so she like, let me counter, like, hold on, this is what I need, because we teach you what you need to be stable in your employment. So she knew a number that she needed, and she got what she asked for. And the crazy part about it, other folks that were there, they were making less than her because they didn't ask or didn't know to ask. This is what I need to be self-sufficient. So we teach so much in the program.
Well, I love that story about your mom. I think that tells us where you get your spirit of service.
There
right?
it is. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
She's a beautiful
Yes.
person. Yeah.
So talk to me just a little bit about what is it that a person signs up for when they come? And I'm asking, how many days do they do this? What's the program look like in practical terms?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you sign up, it's some stages because we want to make sure you get all of the information that you need. So the first stage is going to our website, workreadyoklahoma.com. You can click on Find Your Center. Now, we're more like a franchise of centers. So each center may have a specific way they navigate their entrance into the program. But for the metro area, for Oklahoma City and the surrounding areas that's close to that area, what we do is take them through an info session just to see if they like the program. If they're interested, we invite them to an in-person orientation where they have an opportunity to then learn more about the program, but also see the building and get the feel of the lay of the land, meet some of the facilitating coaches, the employment development team, the training development team. So just really making it comfortable for them to say, okay, I see where I'm coming, and it's not a first day fright of jitters and trying to find parking and those type of things. But we do ask for a 2-week commitment from 9 o'clock to 3:30 Monday through Friday when you're in our program. The first week is really going to get you what you need. That second week is going to hone in more on those skills. But more importantly, once you complete the program, you have an opportunity to go to our job lab. And that's a couple of sites here in the metro area where you can go to the job lab site and continue your job search journey. So we're not guaranteeing you're going to land a job within the first or second week, but if you don't, we're going to hold opportunities for you to continue that search until you find that job. And so we just really stay with the participant from initial engagement. As long as they want to be a part of our system of support, we got their backs all the way through and through.
So how does the program's focus on long-term systemic change extend beyond the individual impact to impact future generations in Oklahoma?
Yeah, so WRO addresses the root cause to generational poverty by equipping adults with tools that break the cycle of unemployment, trauma, instability. And so when parents gain a skill, a job, or just a renewed sense of purpose, it changes the trajectory of their entire household. So this ripple effect strengthens schools, neighborhoods, and ultimately the economic fabric of Oklahoma. And so we hope to empower a new generation of self-sufficient, community-minded leaders. And so that's why I say find your site as soon as possible. WorkReadyOklahoma.com. Find your site. We can't wait to just have more folks that's going out in their communities to be change agents.
If you're thinking about like rural towns, right? We offer remote work opportunities, and this is really great when you're thinking about remote work. So you're going to have this ripple effect if someone gets a remote job, and it's going to start with the individual. It's going to extend to their families and then their community. So in many small towns, upward mobility can feel almost impossible. You might not get a job or any upward mobility unless someone moves away, someone passes away, or someone retires. And sometimes that can take years, especially in a small town. So your options are pretty limited to local jobs, maybe at local gas stations or stores or just family-owned restaurants or whatever that might look like, right? And you might be getting paid well, like $10 to $12 an hour, and that is good. That's above minimum wage, which is $7.25, but that's just simply still not enough to sustain a household. So remote work kind of changes that for them. These are national companies, right? So typically they're starting off at $15 an hour, and that's your starting rate. And this is with benefits too. So that income then gets funneled back into the communities. You're supporting those local businesses that want to thrive and want to survive. And so you're just breathing this new life into this rural community who have long struggled for thriving. And so it's not just about jobs, it really is about restoring hope and sustainability and just where it's needed most. If you start off at $15 an hour, when you go for a raise 6 months, a year down the line, what does that look like? If you've been making $10 an hour and tapped out at 12 in your community for the last 10 years, oh my gosh, that's huge for a family. That's a big change in income. Like, you might be able to pay off your house. You can help get your kids in extracurricular activities. You can do things that you didn't dream of doing before, even with just a few dollars change. And so we're always trying to find jobs that provide at least 15 or 16 plus benefits. Yeah. And we've seen jobs that sometimes pay 23, 24. I mean, it just depends on the field you're going into. Yeah, we had someone get a job paying $40 and I'm like, can you sign me up? So it just depends on what you're going for and what you have going on, and your needs. And so it really is cool to kind of see these whole communities shift because these small opportunities are now afforded to them. So having good internet in these rural towns and being able to provide these remote jobs really does change the trajectory of like whole communities.
Yeah, and we focus specifically on it has to be a job that's going to be a self-sufficient wage with the benefits and all of the things. We don't work with, just a minimum wage type of jobs, not to knock them. It could be a stabilizing job for the time being. But
it's great while you're in training,
absolutely, right? But we want our participants to become self-sufficient and have that gainful employment. Right. So our average is about 15 in Oklahoma City, and the metro is 17. So we're really just doing the best to make sure we provide that for our participants.
So Dr. Robinson, you've said a couple of times now, find your site.
Yeah.
Say we have somebody who's watching right now and they decide, okay, I want to do this. What's the first step? And then what's the second step? And how do they get in? What do we do here?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So I'm big on find your site. So again, as Kristina said earlier, it's now 21 sites, and we are strategically located throughout the state of Oklahoma. So, I mean, you see our heated map when you click on workreadyoklahoma.com. You go to click workreadyoklahoma.com, and at the top, it has Find Your Center. Find Your Center. You click on that Find Your Center, and it opens up a map of Oklahoma. Then you can just go and hover over whichever location is closest to you. Click on that location, and then it gives you the details on how you contact them.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Yeah. And so they go through their regional office.
Correct. Okay. Correct. Because, again, we're kind of more of a franchise of services, and operations are different in areas depending upon the need in that community, and so it could change.
Also, getting plugged into like that individualized site, like those coaches and facilitators already start gaining information and learning about you because you're learning together. So we want it to be the person you start with is the person you're going to end with. And a lot of people share more that way. If you feel comfortable and you have that rapport built, then you're going to get your needs met in a more sufficient way because you're willing to, talk a little bit more about what's going on at home. Or what your needs are. So we really want to get them connected to the right site for them so that we can start building that relationship and rapport from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Do either of you have like a favorite part or session of the program that you really look forward to and you find to be meaningful?
Oh, there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
I love soft skills. My background is education and then counseling. So anything that teaches like about communication or how to express yourself in a more efficient way, those are my favorite ones. So I love day 5. We have a lot of that on day 5. I also really think goal setting is important and how we look at that, and that we're writing our goals out and we're setting specific time frames to achieve them, and just being specific with our goals. Because if you can give a bland goal like, oh, I want to have 100K by the end of this year, great. But there's no action plan to get there. There's nothing that, you want step-by-step sequencing and planning so that as you're going, you can celebrate each little success because that's providing that motivation. You're talking about brain chemistry at that point. You're feeding yourself all those positive chemicals as you're, gaining a little traction. So I really love goals, but that's just the neuroscience in me is like, that's going to keep them in check right there.
Yeah. So Kristina named so many things that's internal workings. And again, I'm on the outside getting folks to come in through
Right.
the program. And so when they buy in and they actually go through, so my favorite part is graduation.
That
So
is
maybe
good.
I may be biased to education and just, but when I see participants graduate and we give them a certificate and they actually get a t-shirt and all of the just accolades behind that huge accomplishment, sometimes this is the first time someone ever finished anything.
There will be tears
And they
every
get
graduation.
emotional and they just like, wow, I did it. I stuck through it. You know, it's in a short program. It's 2 weeks and we want you to come through. Just dedicate your time for 2 weeks. Clear your schedule for a purpose. And we provide that. And when they graduate and they get up there and we give them their certificate because they've done such a great job to complete the program, that's really my favorite part. Because everything that Kristina named through and through, they have accomplished that. They got that information to go out and do well for their job search journey, and more importantly, be ready for the family dynamics to change.
So I worked in higher education for 33 years.
Nice. Thank you for
and
your service.
I always loved the graduation ceremony.
yeah.
So it was so loud,
Oh,
number one, but everybody's proud.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big
You'll
deal.
see tears on both sides of
Yeah.
that. You'll see it from the coaches and facilitators who have watched them grow, even though it's only a short amount of time, like 2 weeks, right? But you'll also see their tears and their pride of like, hey, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to come to this.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, they're like, what are we gonna do on Monday without you guys? Oh, come back, we're still here for you. So we're ready for you. So it is beautiful.
So now that we're sort of through with this, what do you want to talk about?
It could be anything. I'm an open book. So.
But the question is really, what would help you the most if we talked about?
Well, just really building an ecosystem like this where we're connected as a community, as one, where we share information, resources, partnerships, where we all can be successful. I've learned, I haven't really verified, but I've learned that Oklahoma has one of the largest bases of nonprofit organizations in the nation.
I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
But not a lot of us band together to say that we're going to serve these participants with the wraparound services that they need. And so just giving anybody a hand up to success is something that's huge for me. I've always worked in something that's giving back to the community because I remember when my family struggled and they went through hardships, and it was nothing I could do as a young person. But as I grew older, I took just some of the best steps possible. And this is one of the good steps for our participants. Your program is a good step for the community participants. But whenever they reach that level of success that a lot of people yearn for, I mean, it's unexplainable. It's priceless. And so that's what I would want. Continued connection, pushing people through different programs that's going to help them get on their feet, because that's what builds a beautiful community.
Our guests today have been Dr. Carlos Robinson and Kristina Jones with the Work Ready program of Oklahoma. I'd like to thank you both for taking time to come down and speak with us today. I'd like to give you an opportunity. Any last final thoughts that you would like to put out there before we end our program?
No, thank you for having us. It's just these type of mergers that really impact our community the greatest. And so Kristina told us about it, and she said, Dr. Robinson, we got to get on it. We got to be on this podcast because they're doing great work. And so thank you for the work that you're doing for our community, and thank you for connecting us and inviting me. So I'm just excited to be here.
And would you be willing to come back and do some more?
Absolutely. You just tell me when. We'll make our schedules work.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having
Thank you for watching, listening to the Forge a Trail podcast.